Hey, it's Jason, the Winner Circle. Welcome back. And I'm joined and excited to have Cade Thompson with us today. Cade, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
So good to be with you. Thank you for having me.
We're super excited. We're going to get into some details a little bit later on. There's a little bit of a surprise coming to Northern Michigan in March. Uh, it may involve you. It may not. We don't know.
We'll see.
But, you're kind of a newer artist to Fuel FM's lineup. Not super new, but somewhat. So today really is all about getting to know you a little bit better. And so my first question is, where are you from?
I am from the great state of South Dakota. I was born in Joplin, Missouri, and then I moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota when I was 9 years old. And I moved here where I'm at currently in Franklin, Tennessee when I was 18. So
Okay, nice.
I'm from South Dakota.
Sweet. But he lived in Missouri.
There we go.
Little victory
Rocking the
Monday
Chiefs.
today. I'd like to know something about how, like the standard question, right? How did you get into music? But what I want to know is, after that question, if you answer that one, is did you? Because a lot of people work hard, they want to get into the music industry, they want to get there, right? Everybody, that's why you moved to Nashville, that's why, or Franklin, excuse me. Tennessee is the place to go, and you have a lot of people competing for that career. When you got there, just before, did you have voices that you had to overcome, doubts, fears? Am I good enough? Things like that. And how did you deal with that?
Absolutely. I first started music when I was 5 years old. I sang on my front porch, singing karaoke and singing in preschool. Fast forward to middle school, I started singing at my youth group. I was very involved in my youth group. This was around the same time that my relationship with the Lord became very real to me. And my story is all about obedience, of just trying to serve the Lord with where I was planted. And there was a lot of open doors and there was a lot of closed doors along the way, but it was just a simple yes that I had in my heart to say yes to whatever God had for me. And fast forward to when I was moving to Nashville, Tennessee at the age of 18, I had no idea what was in store. I moved down here with just an apartment in faith, didn't have a record deal at that point in time. I knew I was going to sign with somebody, I just didn't know who. And there was definitely a lot of voices. There's definitely a lot of lies from the enemy, definitely a lot of fear. But I think in a lot of ways, if you don't have those fears or those worries, maybe you're not doing something right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I still have it every day. There's always, it's an uphill battle every single day. But I'm reminded of my why, which for me, my why is what happened to me in middle school, me just saying yes to whatever God had placed in front of me.
That's pretty awesome that, a lot of us, I mean, not a lot of us, I shouldn't say it that way. Some of us have experiences like that early on, called into ministry or the missionary field or music or whatever. But it's sometimes you get that calling and some people just don't stick with that though. It's like, well, that was when I was a kid or whatever. Is music something that you always wanted to pursue?
Yeah, I grew up on Christian music. I grew up listening to Christian radio. And honestly, those truths, they played a big part in my life of leading me to Jesus at a young age. I didn't even know that there was really a thing that you can have a career in Christian music or making music. I was just trying to stay faithful. And I went to my first Toby Mac concert when I was 9 years old. And I remember looking at him on stage and be like, this is really awesome. Like, if this is what he gets to do for a living, I want to do that. And it just became really real to me at the same time. Everything started to click and God began to open up those doors. And definitely moving to Nashville was a big step of faith, but I'm so thankful that I get to do what I'm doing now.
So you were 18 when you moved there. Was that on your own? Like your family didn't go there, just you?
Yeah, I moved down here by myself.
I
My
got
my parents were making a lot of trips down here. So they were down here a lot the first year, helping me get on my feet. So
And how was that support system for you? Pretty good?
it's amazing, man. My parents have been my day one support, and I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah. Any siblings?
I do. I have one brother and one sister. So I'm the baby though. So,
Okay.
I get a little spoiled. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. A lot of guys and artists in general, they kind of have a sweet spot, a sound that they kind of nestle into. And how does an artist do that? How did you find that sound that you wanted to bring to people? How does that come about for an artist?
Yeah, I remember when I first moved to town, and even before I moved to town, I was making a lot of trips down here. I was meeting with a lot of people, and one of the things that I always heard was just keep writing, Kate, just keep writing. I'm like, I've already written over 100 songs. What do you mean, just keep writing? Like, are my songs not good enough? But I had to understand that it was through the process of writing that I came into who I am as an artist. I saw what made my heart beat inside and what's the message that I wanted to have on my heart to share with people.
Mhm.
And that's what made me come alive. And really, my whole songwriting process started when I was in high school. I would go to a school, at a public school, and I would see what my peers were walking through, and it just burdened me. And I knew that I wanted to write songs that would speak life and encouragement to my peers at my age. And still to this day, I'm writing songs to point people to Jesus, and that is my why behind what I do.
How important is it to have a why?
It's so important, man. I think, your why is your North Star. And I think a lot of people in life, they focus so much on the what, and it's easy to get lost in the what. It's easy to get lost in the details, but being reminded of my why helps me stay grounded to do what I'm doing.
Do you feel like sometimes I admire you and artists in general, how you come up with the sound for what you put on paper? Uh,
Mm.
because it's like, to me as a novice, or not even a novice, I'm just inexperienced. That's why I play other people's music, because I don't play music. uh, to write a poem or a work of, what am I trying to say? Work of art, actually, is what it is. But it's your thoughts, it's your experiences on paper. How does an artist find the sound to go along with those lyrics? That's always amazed me.
Mm. Yeah, I think, you know, I want to make music that I absolutely love, I
Yeah.
don't want to just make music just to make music. And so when I write songs, I write music that really moves my heart first and gets me going. Like, I'm so excited about this new music that I'm working on because it just feels like me. Every song feels like me, songs that I love listening to and I enjoy. And that naturally flows out of the writing room, which is so special. And so thankful to have a team that just believes in that creative freedom that I have. So,
Yeah. I was talking with the Young Escape
yeah.
weeks ago, and they always talk about how they kind of go have these writing retreats where they go away, get away from everything. Is that kind of what you do, or is yours kind of like an everyday process where you're always thinking about the next one?
Yeah, I've definitely done some writing retreats and stuff, but my writing brain never really shuts off.
Sure, sure.
I love writing. I'm always getting ideas and putting them in my phone. And you can't see this if this is just on audio, but I have a piano in the background behind me here, which is where I wrote a lot of the songs on my new record called Empty Room.
Mhm.
And I just really, I love spending time here every single day, and stuff always happens. It's pretty magical.
Yeah. Empty Room coming out in April.
That's right.
Super excited about that one. I was listening to Empty Room just recently. Great song.
Thank
One of the
you.
lines that really stuck out to me, though, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget it. I try to overcomplicate it like I've got something to prove.
I try to overcomplicate it, like I've got something to prove.
Hmm.
Expound on that phrase, because that's a huge phrase.
Man, hitting my heartstrings. I'll tell you what, this is a really deep song to write, to be honest with you. I think it's it's really easy for us as humans to place our identity in what we do for Christ instead of who we are in Christ. And I remember in 2020, everything shut down and I ended up going back home and everything stopped. And I had to come to that realization that, look, if I never sang another note for the rest of my life, I would still be called a son of God. And that is what matters. That's what matters when I step on a stage. And so I think so many times, I try and overcomplicate it. Like, I've got something to prove, exactly what I said. Like,
Yep.
we feel like we have to perform for people. Sometimes we feel like we have to perform for Christ to win his approval, but that's not the case. The beauty of that is he sent his one and only son, Jesus, because he loves us so much. And that's the beauty of the gospel, right? Therefore, we have nothing to prove.
It's those days, because as an artist, you have to perform in a sense, a little bit anyway, even though when you get on stage, you're just trying to help encourage people, bring them Jesus, give them something to grab a hold of and take away with them. Kind of the same as we do in radio. We get behind the microphone and we perform. We help people to change their focus. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, it's hard when you have those days when you sit down behind the mic and you go, "Oh, I don't feel it today. I don't
Yeah.
got it." And that's
Yeah.
when God's like, Perfect, because now I can use it. But that's like what you just said. It's like you overcomplicate it. Like I've got to
Mm,
bring something from myself today. No, right?
mm,
That's not how it's supposed to go.
absolutely. Yeah, I think those moments I'm just reminded it's really not me anyways. It's him flowing through me.
For sure. Yeah, no, for sure. What has been, what's been something, okay, what's been your greatest joy since you've really been
Mm.
in the music industry, and what's been the greatest struggle for you, if you don't mind sharing that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say my greatest joy, honestly, has been able to connect with so many artists that I've looked up to for such a long time. People have just been so, so kind,
Mm.
and it's been such a joy. I mean, sometimes you meet the people that you look up to, and it's like, wow, I was not expecting that. I've been so thankful that, man, I've been able to share the stage with some amazing artists that have truly spoken life into me, that truly have believed in me, and I never want to take that for granted. So I would say that's been definitely the biggest joy. Um, Definitely the biggest struggle I would say is stepping out at a young age. I went on my first tour when I was 16 years old, and I really had no idea what I was doing. I still don't. It's just every day figuring it out. But it was that moment of just that childlike faith, man. And looking back, I'm like, wow, I actually did that. But I think, being in an industry and putting out music so young, you have to really kind of adult fast. You have to grow up really, really fast.
Mm.
And so I would say that's probably been the hardest part along this journey. But on the other side of that, I'm so thankful for so many people that pour into me, that mentors and teams that I get to work with. It's just incredible. So
Have you always been someone who is easily taking a risk or easily just trying something new, or was that something that even God was like, I got to give him the faith to do this?
well, I never broken a bone in my body, so no. I'm not really a daredevil, I would say. I'm kind of like a safety Sam growing up.
Yeah,
But when it comes to walking with the Lord, I really trying to work that muscle of doing whatever he wants me to do.
yeah. So how old are you now then?
I'm 22.
Okay, so
Just turned 22.
you're really growing up now. That's good.
Yeah, really growing up.
Well, we love having you on Fuel FM. You bring a lot of great sound and a lot of variety to our station. So we appreciate your ministry, your music. We're looking forward to March 3rd. Fuel FM is celebrating 9 years. That's hard to believe. And you're going to be joining us in Traverse City, Michigan for that. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We're still trying to work out some details as far as venue, things like that. But we're excited to have you.
Man, I'm so excited to be there. Thank you so much for playing my music and supporting what I'm doing. And it's going to be fun. I love Michigan, so it's going to be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Well, and March may be a little bit better than today. We got some snow coming in. It's like 14 degrees today. So
Maybe everything won't be so frozen over.
something I love to ask you guys is if you could collaborate with one person that you could, who would it be?
Well,
Even if it's not in Christian music genre.
well, in the Christian music genre, I definitely have to say Toby. Love Toby Mac.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of Christian music, Ryan Tedder from One Republic.
Okay. Yeah.
He's pretty incredible. So
Nice. I could see you doing something with Matthew West.
I could see that too. He actually has a song we wrote together on my new record. So
Oh, cool.
pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Well, we've never done a song together.
Yes.
So as far as him singing on it and me as well. So maybe someday.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I'll have to text him.
I should be like a music matchmaker.
Right? You should be.
That'd be a fun job. Well, hey, I don't want to take up all your time. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit and getting to know you better. Like I said before, we love having you on Fuel FM, love your heart, and I just appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you March 9th.
Thank you.
3rd. March 3rd, excuse me.
March 3rd. Don't miss it.
Sorry, don't forget what I said. Maybe just send an encouraging word to our Fuel FM fan out there, giving them something to take away.
Absolutely, y'all. Well, thanks for listening today. I hope that you are encouraged. And I know there's a lot of things that a lot of people are walking through, but just remember that God is with you. He hasn't forgotten about you. And I can't wait to see you on March 3rd.
Awesome. Cade, I really appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you for chatting, man. We'll see you.